taken me a long time to get around to tackling this installment in the Wolfenstein franchise. I've missed a raft of Wolfenstein games from the New Order all the way up to the present day, but I had so much fun playing this I don't know why I've been away for so long. The Nazis were one of the darkest periods in world history, but they provide great video game fodder. Their ideals and actions were so unremittingly evil that it's an absolute pleasure popping their heads open with an assault rifle. There's no room here for moral ambiguity. A large portion of the game is set in an alternative universe 1960 where the Nazis won the war and have made huge technological advances, allowing them to build autonomous robots and a base on the moon. These games are never going to win any prizes for innovation, but they don't need to. When I play a Wolfenstein game, I expect to be destroying Nazis who can't shoot straight, shout a lot to reveal their position, and spend far too much time running between cover. And that, aside from a few ill-judged levels set in the Resistance headquarters, is exactly what I got. These are the video game industry equivalent of the special effects driven movies with barely coherent plots that the American film industry loves to churn out. And that sometimes is exactly what you want. The action is fast paced and the length of the levels was for me very well judged. Just as I was getting bored and beginning to dread having to complete a level, a cutscene would appear and whisk me away to the next location. Even though the game is now 7 years old, the graphics haven't aged that badly. I'm sure they don't compare to the hyper-realistic games being released today, but they're good enough to keep you fully immersed. From the opening mission on the Doom Bomber, through the obligatory Nazi castle and even a brief trip to the moon, the variety of levels kept me interested from start to finish. The gunplay is a lot of fun, with each character reacting when they're shot and an appropriate appendage becoming dislodged. Getting a clean headshot and exploding a Nazi head like a ripe melon is extremely satisfying. The variety of weapons is fairly standard, with the usual assault rifle, SMG, shotgun, pistol, etc. There's also a rocket launcher add-on available for the assault rifle. The option to dual wield weapons is available, but I found it to be highly inaccurate and a good way to waste all your ammunition. A laser rifle is also available, but it has a frustratingly short battery life, which will have you running back and forth for recharges, like as a Nokia from 2005. If you want, there are quite a few sections where you can take a stealth-based approach by sneaking around in ventilation shafts, like a burly John McClane, carefully sneaking up behind guards before stabbing them in the neck. The guards will happily oblige this behaviour by walking slowly away from you and stopping to have a whistle before turning around. The sections where you had to retrieve various items in and around Resistance headquarters became a tedious chore after a while. I understand that the developers are trying to add some variety, but Wolfenstein has a well-established run and gun style, and I felt these levels were a little too slow and tedious. At one point you're forced to take a nap just to progress the story, and that's exactly what I felt like doing when playing these levels. They would have been better served with integrating these elements into the larger run and gun sections for brief periods of respite. The moon mission seems like a wasted opportunity. It's mostly spent inside the moon base, which could just as easily have been set on Earth. There's only one brief excursion outside, which feels tacked on, almost as if the developers realised at the last minute there'd been no use of the location and quickly spun it up just prior to release. This feeling is reinforced by the lack of enemies encountered during the war, a few token drones. I had a great time playing the New Order. If you're not looking for anything deep or meaningful and just want to have a great time with an FPS that knows how to do the basics really well, it's a great game to pick up. The location and maps are well thought out and the length of each section is very well judged. It's a few years old now, but the gameplay and graphics still hold up quite well. I would give it a score of 7.5 out of 10. It would have been the native the levels set in the Resistance base were a little better thought out and less frustrating. Given that it's 7 years old, I wouldn't pay any more than $20 for this, but for that price you're getting a good 10 or 12 hours of very enjoyable gameplay. When I finished playing I was still eager for more, so after a short break I'll move on to the next game in the series, The Old Blood. It seems like no matter how many Nazis I kill, there's always more to be mowed down in the next game. Both games are available now on Steam in a reasonably priced bundle.